So, even with the stuff that I said last week about Black Clover, and I know I got a little bit of it here and that, some people complain saying, you shouldn't be fucking, like, bitching and moaning about it, and then some people came and say, you know what, fucking Panda, good on you, and all that shit like that. I can at least safely say, with this chapter of Clover, yes, this is a lot more better than improvement, because we do know a little bit more about this guy's powers, at least. But still, the pacing was a little bit... I know, like, fucking shoot the messenger on this shit. But generally, let's just go and talk into this chapter and all that, because unfortunately, there is some unfortunate news with this chapter as well that's off scenes and all that, not to do with this. Which we're going to be getting into right now, which sadly as well is that saying that the author of Black Clover, Yuki Tabata, is unfortunately ill. Like, he's going to be taking off next week, since he had, like, I believe in that from what the news article was saying, is that, like, he had, like, an asthma attack, or, like, he had something which, or it probably had a lot of things as well to do maybe with, like, stress, because I don't know if you guys know, being a manga, like, creator and all that in Japan is fucking horrific, so even when, that's why a lot of the time I go a lot more lax when I talk, like, say stuff and all that with chats and all that, it's just, like, bad, or is it generally, like, just bad writing, or is it, like, poor art, or something that the chat just didn't excite me. It still takes a lot of hard work just in regards to just to put out the chapter in a week, but even still and all that, like, it's unfortunate to hear that the guy has just generally, like, this is his first time taking a break, I believe, without, like, not counting, like, the actual holidays that they always have, like, on, like, Golden a week and all that, and, like, a Christmas and what have you. So, it generally sucks to, like, to hear about that. So, like, I believe him, Oda, and I believe one more author was off this week and all that due to illness. So, yeah, it generally sucks. So, like, next week we aren't going to be having a chapter, so feels weird that we're finally going to have 1 week without Clover for me personally and all that, since I've been reviewing, like, week upon week and all that. So, it's going to be a little bit weird, but regardless, let's talk about the chapter itself and all that, since, like, this is going to be the one that we're going to have to talk about. So, you remember when Asta got hit by that trap? Yeah, that was that piece of shit Zash is, like, just ended up just attacking him in general, because he wanted to do a little bit of an experiment to make the guy think, this is our chance, let's go ourselves open, and he ended up tricking all of them with this ash element spell that he has. It seems like what Mimosa has kind of like actually like predicted with him and all that, is saying like with this trap like that he's able to, he can actually reflect the magic almost in a way that Asta can when he actually used his technique with his blade. His blade could, his smaller blade can actually absorb the element into the blade, and he can kind of release it in, and it gets a good tensho like blade release. And with this one, he was able just to fully return every, like, different multiple elements at once. However, though, there seems to be something very interesting with this power, though, and Mimosa was able to, like, deduct this, and this is the reason why he didn't go this first part, like, immediately, was straight up as well that there are some requirements probably with this, like, he has to have some certain conditions met. The fact as well that, like, there was all three of these powerful ones and all that, and them to fall out, maybe it takes a certain amount of time to do this. Maybe when he was resting, he was doing the incantation, like, to do this counter-attack, so, like, maybe he did this right as they arrived. Right as he was talking, he was distracting Asta and the rest of them by going, well, you know what, I'm going to distract you, you ain't going to look over there, I'm going to place the trap around, and there we go, and go take care of this. And immediately with this, he was able to knock out every single one of the guys, and very sadistically and all that. I will say, like, when he was just like, you lost to that kind of person, oh well, and he had this really demonic looking face, and it's like, you lack the ability and all that, and Magic Knights and all that, you're just failures if you can't even deal with something like this, and you got cocky like that. And generally as well, like, Asta called him out on this and saying, you know, what the hell was that and all that, you know, they were still, he was like, yeah, so what and all that, they were kicking our asses and all that, and saying, like, they're Magic Knights, and it's like, they were still doing impressive, and he's just like, you're a piece of shit and all that. It's like, and I like how, like, he said our teamwork was better than theirs. No, it wasn't. You just generally went to say, if teamwork was so much better, then you would have been like, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. Don't worry, has to be the bait. No, what it is that just overall, you just tricked everyone. That's all it was. So, like, if anything, he could have been a lot more of the cocky bitch. It's like, nah, we all did it, guys, and all that. It was all up to her, and it's like, no, fuck that with that Zash like that. You ain't gonna be doing anything like that. So, overall, he has come off and shown off his power now. Now, he's got a lot of an interesting thing now that Asta's got an opponent like that can actually reflect magic in kind of the way that with Asta negates it, and he can repel it as well, but his seems to be a lot more to a bigger degree. And the fact that he was even able to immobilize Asta, someone like that, there is an element to it where he can actually deal damage with it. So his entire thing seems to be traps and like reflecting other stuff. Like we even saw as well that with the ash element that he was able to like manipulate into his hand and destroy the crystal. So not only it seems like he is like a trickster kind of character, like his whole thing revolves around like using traps and stuff, which sounds interesting. Like we don't see that a lot of the time, that where you see a character that just his whole technique ability and all that, well, at least from anything though, what they've kind of given us like the impression that's I'm going to use traps, I'm going to use all these kind of abilities, and I like that. I think that's actually a really kind of cool ability, and that's why, if anything I have to praise of this chapter, I think, if anything's actually just like, ability is really cool, and like, had it, and albeit and all that, I still felt it was a little bit slow-paced and all that. I kind of wish we saw a little bit more, and I felt like the like ending was a little bit lackluster, because it was like, the big thing was like the joke and all that at the end of it was like, oh, one of the next few opponents and all that we get to see, as we can see, like, Ragnar's like an actual, like, and like, also as well, like the other chick and all that, it's like their partner is actually Mimosa's like brother, and he's like this, I'm so pretty, I am like also as well and all that. It's like, I am, you don't taste like the Vermilion's beauty, like that. It's just like, oh boy, let's just have a look at this chuckle fuck right now, like that. He's like, so he's honestly, when I saw him, I generally thought it was Finral. Like I had no one else tries to act like that pompous, like since like with Finral, and I was like, he's just like, honestly, I was like, okay, he seems like just he's gonna be a joke from the start. But hey, go see like fucking Magna next week, like on that. Like, so honestly, I'm looking forward to that in the next couple of weeks. That we're gonna be seeing some stuff with him. Generally, like other than that and all that, the mascot, like what Zash and all that, it's all right. I still think as well, they are still a bunch of fucking scrubs for the most part. So there wasn't anything and all that too much I can say about them. But even as well, I think honestly the most thing that I kind of took out of this chapter was generally like it was like okay and all that for the most part, and like it's set up a little bit more with him. Even as well, I don't give like kind of like scores anymore and all that for the most part. I know I just say, oh, it's either good, fine, okay, and all that. If I actually would go back to like an actual scoring method for this and all that, like as I've taken it out for a while, I would probably give this, if anything, all that a 6. I think it was fine. There were some good points to it, but it didn't blow me away this week and all that. I was thinking like, oh, okay, and all that. Like, well, last week's was probably like a 5 or a 4. I thought it was like, nah, a little bit like under above average or just average and all that. So like, it's an improvement, but then again and all that, I feel like I want to see a little bit more faster pace and all that for the most part, but still enjoyable. And it kind of sucks to hear about like Tabata actually being ill and all that. So hopefully the guy recovers a lot faster and all that. I hope he feels better and all that, having the week off and all that, so it gives him time and all that to recover and actually have some time off and enjoy himself. So like, hope that like, you know, that's all there and all that and recovers. That's all from me though and all that. So let me guys think in the comment section down below, what did you think about the Black Clover chapter? I'm curious seeing you think I'm like again like wrong against this one and all that, or you think I'm being a little bit harsh for like 2 weeks in a row and all that, Clover. But this one generally enjoyable and all that. Last week's I could have wished them more and all that. But all from me, and I'll see you guys though next time.